For 6,000 years, the warning stayed hidden on old stones, deep inside forgotten ruins. No one knew who wrote it or why it was there. The message was short, but it carried a cold weight that never faded. They will return. Scientists studied it for many years. Some believed it was only a story from an old tribe. Some believed it was a mistake. Others believed it was a warning from a lost civilization. But in the end, the world forgot about it. People lived their normal lives. Children went to school. Workers went to their jobs. Soldiers trained for normal threats. Everything remained peaceful. Then one silent night, the sky changed. At first, only a few astronomers saw the strange light moving behind the moon. They thought it was a new asteroid or a strange satellite reflection. But within minutes, every space station detected the same signal. Something huge was coming toward Earth. Something that moved with purpose. Something that was not natural. The first shock came when satellites began to shut down. One by one, their screens went dark. Signals dropped. Communication lines broke. The world did not understand what was happening, but the people felt a strange fear in their hearts. It was the kind of fear that humans feel when something ancient returns from the dark. Then the shadow appeared. A massive alien ship moved from behind the moon. It was bigger than any human city, shaped like a dark floating fortress. Its surface was covered with deep metal lines, glowing symbols, and huge engines that burned a bright blue fire. The ship was so large that it blocked part of the stars. Every ocean on Earth reacted. Waves shifted. Tides rose. Clouds twisted into strange patterns. Animals felt the disturbance and hid. Humans looked at the sky in silence, unable to understand what they were seeing. This was not a new enemy. This was a return. The same return that the old warning had spoken about. The aliens were known as the Valerian Dominion. They ruled many planets long before humans even discovered fire. More than 6,000 years ago, they came to Earth and tried to use humans as workers and slaves. But something happened that forced them to leave. History never recorded what it was. The Valerians simply vanished, leaving behind their message. We will come back. Now they had arrived, stronger than ever. But Earth was no longer the same weak world. Humans had changed. They had learned. They had built weapons that could reach the stars. They created shields that wrapped cities in light. They built fleets that guarded the sky. Earth was ready, even if most people did not know it. While the world watched the alien ship with fear, the Terran Defense Command stayed calm. All defense stations came online. Troops moved into position. The Moon Watch base activated its long-range cannons. And all over the planet, soldiers stood at their posts without panic. The alien ship finally sent its first message. It echoed across radios, phones, and every working frequency on Earth. The voice was deep and metallic, as if coming from a creature that had ruled 100 worlds. Humans, Neo, your world belongs to us. Surrender or be destroyed. People expected their leaders to reply with fear or negotiation, but no answer came. The world remained silent. No leader begged. No commander panicked. No human voice rose to show weakness. This silence confused the aliens. They expected humans to cry, to scream, to fall to their knees. But Earth refused to answer, and that silence was louder than any threat. Inside the alien flagship, the Valerian commander studied the human defenses. He saw the glowing shields over cities. He saw the orbit stations unlocking their weapons. He saw the Terran fleets taking formation. These humans look stronger than before, but it is impossible. No primitive species evolves as fast. Yet the screens told the truth. Humanity was ready. Humanity was not afraid. On the moon, a human soldier looked at the alien ship through the glass window of the station. He did not shake. He did not step back. He only said one calm sentence to his partner. Let them come. The alien commander felt anger rising. He decided to test humanity. Small attack drones were launched from the giant ship. Hundreds of them flew toward Earth, glowing like burning stars. It was meant to scare humans. It was meant to break their morale. But humans still did not answer. Every soldier on Earth stood still. Every fleet stayed in formation. Every commander remained silent. They waited for the right moment, showing the aliens something the Valerians had not seen in any other species: control, discipline, fearlessness. The alien commander felt a strange feeling. It was not anger. It was not pride. It was something he had not felt in thousands of years: uncertainty. Back on Earth, people watched the alien drones entering the atmosphere. Fire trails fell across the sky. Children hid behind their parents. Adults stood in shock. But every human also saw something else. The defense towers were powering up. The orbital cannons were charging. The fleet engines burned brighter. Humanity was not running. Humanity was preparing to fight. The world remembered the old warning: they will return. But now the world had a new answer. We do not kneel anymore. The hook ends in rising tension. The first alien attack is seconds away. Earth stands silent. Earth stands ready. The alien drones move closer to Earth, spreading across the sky like a metal storm. Each drone carried weapons powerful enough to melt steel and tear through entire buildings. The Valorian commander expected panic. He expected humans to run. He expected them to beg for mercy. Instead, Earth remained strangely calm, as if the people knew something the aliens did not. Inside the Terran Defense Command Center, the global screens showed the drones approaching. Officers stood behind their stations, watching every movement without fear. Their hands did not shake. Their voices remained steady. They tracked the drones, measured their speed, and calculated their attack patterns with perfect precision. General Mara Ellison, one of Earth's highest commanders, walked into the room. Her steps were firm, and her eyes showed the kind of confidence that comes only from facing danger many times before. She looked at the live feed of the alien drones and spoke in a quiet but strong voice. "Stand by. Do not fire until my order." Every officer nodded. No one questioned her. Humanity had trained for this moment for years, even though the public never knew the full truth. While people lived ordinary lives, humanity's defense forces built hidden stations, secret weapons, and advanced technology powerful enough to challenge any alien empire. Far above the Earth, in orbit, the human fleet known as a Valkyrie Wing moved into formation. Their ships were sleek, fast, and shaped like sharp silver arrows. Each one carried gravity engines and weapons designed to cut through metal at the speed of light. The pilots inside the ship sat ready, watching the alien drones move closer. Among them was Captain Orion Hale, one of the most skilled pilots in the fleet. He had fought in dozens of training simulations, but this was his first real war. He felt no fear. He felt something else, something stronger. He felt pride. He whispered to himself, more like a promise than a thought: "We protect Earth." On the alien side, the Valorian commander struggled to understand the situation. His soldiers reported that human forces were in full battle formation, but were not attacking. It made no sense. Every weaker species they had met in the past fired early, desperately, and without strategy. But humans waited. Humans studied. Humans were calm. This calm behavior unsettled the aliens. It showed discipline. It showed training. It showed readiness. The commander opened a communication line to his officers. Do not underestimate them. Focus on their weaknesses. They are only human. But deep down, the commander felt something growing inside him. A doubt. A small fear. Something he had not felt in centuries. He pushed it away and ordered the drones to begin their first strike pattern. On Earth, the first sirens finally sounded in cities. People rushed into shelters. Streets emptied. Families gathered together. But even in fear, humans felt something strange. They felt trust. They believed their defenses would protect them. They believed their armies would fight for them. They believed their world was strong. In orbit, the drones entered attack range. The drones prepared to fire. Their weapons began to glow. The sky shimmered with energy. Earth was seconds from being hit. General Mara Ellison raised her hand. Every soldier stared at her. Every pilot waited. The entire defense network held its breath. Fire. In an instant, Earth came alive. The orbital cannons fired first, shooting beams of blue energy that tore through the vacuum of space. Dozens of drones exploded at once. The rest broke formation, confused by the sudden counterattack. The Valkyrie wing launched next. Their ships shot forward with incredible speed, weaving between drones, firing precise bursts that destroyed one target after another. Captain Orion Hale moved his ship like it was part of his own body. He dodged enemy fire, accelerated between explosions, and hit each drone with perfect accuracy. The Valorians watched in shock. How are they so fast? How do they fight with such skill? How did these weak creatures evolve into warriors? The answers were clear in every battle move. Humanity had grown stronger because life on Earth was hard. Their history was full of wars, disasters, and challenges. They had learned to rise again and again. They had learned to fight as if survival was always at stake. On the ground, anti-air defenses fired long lines of light into the sky. The drones that tried to break through the orbital barrier were instantly hit. Human technology outmatched them. Human tactics surprised them. Human courage overwhelmed them. The first wave of alien drones began to fall. Their burning pieces dropped toward the ocean and mountains like falling stars. In the alien flagship, confusion filled the command room. The drones were supposed to be unbeatable against primitive species. But humans destroyed them with strategy, speed, and precision. The Valorian commander gripped the edge of his control table as he watched the battle unfold. How did a young species learn to fight like this? Who trained them? Who taught them to resist fear? He studied the feed, showing human forces, and finally understood. They were united. They worked as one. Their ships moved like parts of the same body. Their soldiers followed commands without hesitation. This was not the Earth the Valorians remembered. This was a new world, a dangerous world. The commander sent a message to his officers. Prepare the main assault. These humans are more advanced than expected. On Earth, General Ellison received new reports. They showed the alien flagship charging its primary weapon. She looked at the screens calmly. So, this is how they want to play. She turned to her officers. Prepare the counterstrike. They want a war. We will show them what humanity has become. The humans did not celebrate their small victory. They did not relax. They did not fall back. They understood something important. The real battle had not started yet. The Valorians came to conquer a weak world. Instead, they found a fearless one. And now, both sides are preparing for the next clash. The first wave of alien drones had fallen, but the sky above Earth was far from quiet. The Valorian flagship floated in orbit like a giant shadow, its metal surface glowing with burning energy lines. The ship began to shift, opening huge armor plates along its sides. The movement was slow but powerful, as if a sleeping monster was stretching before the real attack. Inside the Terran Defense Command Center, the lights dimmed for a moment as the alien ship released an enormous energy pulse. It was not an attack. It was a scan. The Valorians were studying Earth's defenses, searching for weaknesses, trying to understand how humans had changed so much. The pulse washed over the planet, touching every city and every ship in orbit. General Mara Ellison watched the readings on the main screen. The alien flagship is charging something larger than the last attack. This is a preparation stage. They are not done. Her officers exchanged nervous glances, but she remained steady. She knew Earth could not show any sign of fear. She walked to the communication panel and opened a direct line to the Valkyrie wing orbiting above. Captain Orion Hale, report your status. Orion's calm voice answered through the speakers. We are holding formation. No losses. Drones destroyed. Awaiting next orders. General Ellison felt a small sense of pride. The pilots were young, but they fought with courage that surprised even her. Humanity had finally reached the era where space was not an unknown frontier, but their battlefield. Meanwhile, inside the alien flagship, the Valorian commander paced across the glowing floor of his war chamber. His eyes, sharp and reptilian, watched the holograms of the destroyed drones. He clicked his claws together in frustration. How did they break our formation so quickly? Why are humans coordinating so effectively? As advisors try to explain, their technology has advanced far beyond what our ancient records show. They have weapons we did not predict. Their pilots show disciplined coordination. The species has grown. The commander stared at the hologram of Earth. This is a mistake. Evolution does not happen this fast, but he could not deny the truth in front of him. Humans were not only stronger, they were confident. They acted like a species used to fighting, used to surviving impossible challenges. The commander decided to send the next wave. This time it would not be drones. It would be Valorian elite fighters, piloted by warriors trained since childhood. Prepare the Drakenwing. They will break the human line. The order moved to the alien ship, and soon long hangar doors opened beneath its dark hull. Sleek black fighters emerged, each powered by violet energy engines. They moved like predators, fast and silent, gathering into formation. Back on the Valkyrie wing, Orion Hale watched the new threat on his screen. These ones are faster, and they're alive. His co-pilot, Lieutenant Reyna Solis, tightened her harness. Good. Let's show them how humans welcome guests. The alien fighters shot forward with incredible speed. They split into groups, each one targeting a different part of Earth's defense line. Human sensors lit up with warnings. The commanders on the ground began calculating possible attack paths. General Ellison studied the patterns. These fighters are searching for weak points. They will test our outer shields. She opened the communication channel to all defense stations. All units, focus fire on incoming formations. Do not break ranks. The battle began with a flash. The first clash happened just above the planet's atmosphere. Human ships and alien fighters met in a storm of light and metal. Beams of energy crossed the sky. Explosions echoed through the vacuum. Ships spun, accelerated, dodged, and attacked again. Orion Hale pushed his ship into a sharp roll, avoiding a violet plasma shot. The heat brushed across his hull, making the metal glow. He fired back, hitting the alien fighter's wing. The alien pilot tried to recover, but the damaged ship fell into the atmosphere and burned. Reyna scanned the battlefield. 2 on your right closing fast. I see them. Orion's ship spiraled through the middle of the fight, narrowly avoiding another shot. The aliens fought with deadly skill, but Earth's pilots were faster. They had something the aliens did not understand. Human instinct. Human unpredictability. A kind of fighting spirit that could not be measured by technology. In the alien flagship, the commander watched the battle feed with growing disbelief. The Drakenwing was supposed to overwhelm the humans. Instead, the humans were pushing them back. One alien advisor finally said what the commander feared to admit. They fight as if they have experienced many wars. Their evolution is unnatural. The commander hissed in frustration. Then we break their morale. Target their orbital shields. The alien fighters switched patterns instantly. They regrouped and moved toward Earth's main orbital shield generator, a giant ring-shaped structure floating above the atmosphere. General Ellison saw it immediately. They are changing targets. They want the shield generator. Without hesitation, she opened a direct channel to the Valkyrie wing. All ships, defensive formation around the generator. Do not let them reach it. Orion's fleet shifted formation instantly. Dozens of human fighters flew toward the shield generator. The alien fighters closed in behind them, firing nonstop. The battle became chaotic. Human ships shielded the generator with their own bodies. Some took heavy hits. Some began to burn, but none pulled back. The generator began to shake from the impact of the nearest attacks. Reyna shouted over the comm system. If that generator falls, the planet loses half its protection. Orion responded with steel in his voice. Then we hold the line. He pushed his ship forward and fired at the lead alien fighter. The shot hit its core, and it exploded in bright violet flames. The explosion forced the rest of the alien formation to scatter. On Earth, people watching from screens saw flashes of light streaking across the sky. They saw ships spinning through the clouds. They saw explosions glowing like falling stars. They did not know the names of the pilots fighting above them, but they knew one thing. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not running. Humanity was fighting with all its strength. In orbit, the alien attack began to lose power. The human line stayed strong. One by one, the alien fighters fell. The Valorian commander slammed his fist against the control table. Impossible. They were never supposed to match us. But humans were doing more than matching. They were winning. and the aliens were beginning to feel something they had not felt in 6,000 years. Fear. The Valorian commander stood at the center of his war chamber, his claws clicking slowly against the cold metal floor. Around him, holograms flickered with the results of the recent battle. Too many alien fighters had been destroyed. Too many had failed to break through the human defenses. It was not only unexpected, it was unacceptable. He turned to his advisors. Explain how a young species can resist a Drakenwing. His advisors remained silent for a moment. They exchanged uncertain glances. Then one finally spoke. Humans show fighting behavior that does not match their technological age. They fight like a species that has faced extinction many times. The commander stared at the hologram of Earth, shining blue beneath the stars. That should not be possible. Their history does not show such enemies. Another advisor hesitated before speaking. Perhaps their enemies were internal, wars between themselves, long periods of conflict. They learned to survive by fighting each other. The commander did not like the idea, but he could not deny it. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were emotional. Humans were creative. And now humans were dangerous. While the alien ship analyzed the battle, down on Earth, General Mar Ellison stood over the central display table in the Terran Defense Command. Reports arrived from every sector. Damage had been contained. Casualties were low. Civilians were safe. Most importantly, the orbital shield generator was still standing. One officer approached her. General, the enemy is regrouping. Their movement patterns suggest a larger attack coming soon. General Ellison nodded calmly. Let them prepare. We will be ready. She walked toward a secure room at the back of the command center. Inside, scientists and engineers worked around a glowing sphere of blue light. The sphere pulsed with energy, casting long shadows on the walls. This was Earth's greatest secret, a piece of technology discovered 50 years earlier, buried under the ice of Antarctica. No one knew who built it or how old it was, but its design was far beyond human understanding. With decades of study, scientists learned how to activate only a small percentage of its power. Even that small amount changed everything. It helped create new shields, new weapons, and new engines. Humanity had risen faster than any species in known history because of this hidden relic, the relic core. General Ellison approached the lead scientist, Dr. Nadir Hayes. How long until we can safely expand its power field? Dr. Hayes pushed his glasses up his nose, his voice tense. The field is stable, but we are reaching the limit. If we push it without caution, the entire core could overload. We will not push it, she said. We will use it with precision. Dr. Hayes nodded. Even though nervous lines formed on his forehead, the relic core was powerful but unpredictable. It could strengthen Earth defenses. It could also destroy half the planet if handled incorrectly. But if the alien flagship launched its primary weapon, Earth would need every advantage it had. Back in orbit, the Valkyrie wing floated in a tight defensive formation around the shield generator. Captain Orion Hale checked the status of his ship. The engines hummed softly. The weapons glowed with fresh energy. The battle had drained him, but his focus remained sharp. Reyna Solis looked out of her side window at the planet below. Think people down there know how close they came? Orion answered quietly. They will never know how much we protect them. And that's how it should be. A new alert appeared on their screens. Movement detected. Large. Approaching fast. Orion's heart tightened. This was not another wave of fighters. This was something bigger. The alien flagship had begun its main assault. Inside the Valorian ship, the commander activated a massive circular device at the front of the vessel. Energy began to gather inside the ring, swirling like a storm of purple fire. This was their primary weapon, a planet breaker. It could wipe out entire continents with a single blast. The commander raised his hand. They have resisted enough. End this. The weapon charged slowly, but its power was terrifying. Across their ship, alien warriors watched with pride. They believed this moment would reclaim their old dominance. They believed humanity would finally bow. But on Earth, the Terran Defense Command detected the weapon instantly. The entire room went silent as the sensor readings appeared. The energy level was unlike anything they had seen before. General Ellison's eyes sharpened. So they are ready to destroy us. An officer spoke shakily. What do we do, General? We stop them. She turned to Dr. Hayes. Activate the relic core's adaptive barrier. Extend it as far as possible around the planet. Dr. Hayes froze. General, if we push the barrier now, it could destabilize. If we do nothing, Earth will be destroyed. The doctor swallowed hard, then nodded. Understood. Alarms rang through the command center as the relic core released its power. Blue energy rippled outward, spreading across the atmosphere like a rising tide. The ground trembled. Lights flickered. The sky turned bright for a moment. People all over the world looked upward in confusion as the strange glow wrapped the planet in a layer of shimmering protection. In orbit, Ori and Hale saw the barrier appear. The surface of Earth glowed blue, brighter than the moon. What is that? Raina stared wide-eyed. Whatever it is, it's ours. Inside the alien flagship, the Valorian commander growled. They have a shield. That is impossible. That power signature does not belong to humans. He turned to his advisors. Do we know this technology? No, Commander. It does not match any species in our records. The commander felt cold anger rising. They had underestimated humans again. The planetary breaker reached full charge. The commander raised his hand. Fire. A beam of pure destructive energy shot from the alien ship toward Earth. The light cut through space like a blade, heading straight for the planet. The human world watched in silence. The beam hit the relic barrier. The sky exploded with light. For a moment, it was impossible to tell whether the barrier would hold. The blue light shook violently. The ground trembled. Orbit shook. Ships rattled. People fell to their knees. Alarm screamed. Ori and Hale watched the shockwave pass the ship. Hold together. Please hold. General Ellison held the edge of the display table, her knuckles white. Dr. Hayes stared at the readings. If the barrier breaks, the planet is finished. The alien commander leaned forward, waiting for the shield to collapse. But it did not collapse. The barrier held. The beam broke apart and scattered into the sky, fading like dying sparks. Humanity had survived the strongest weapon the Valorians possessed. For the first time in 6,000 years, the aliens realized something they never expected. Earth was not prey. Earth was something far more dangerous. Earth was evolving into a rival. The command center grew tense as the alien countdown reached its final minutes. Ava stood beside Marcus, watching the numbers fall from 300 to 280. Every second felt like a weight pressing on everyone's chest. But Marcus did not flinch. He remained calm, his breathing steady, as if he had already seen the outcome. He knew fear was the enemy now, not the Arkan fleet. Teams across the world sent their last updates. Shields in Asia were stable. The plasma barriers in Europe were fully charged. North and South America reported all civilian shelters were sealed. Africa confirmed the launch of atmospheric generators that would help weaken incoming beams. Humanity had never been this united. Every continent had a role. Every soldier had a purpose. Every scientist had contributed something. It felt like the planet itself held its breath, waiting. Ava moved closer to the massive digital table that displayed Earth's defense layers. A vast blue sphere represented the global shields, glowing within outlines of light. Over it hovered thousands of red dots, marking Arkan strike units waiting to attack. She whispered that it felt impossible to survive such a force. Marcus looked at her and said that surviving had never been humanity's style. They liked winning instead. She tried to smile, but her hands were still shaking. In orbit, the Arkan ships shifted into attack formation. Rows of destroyers angled forward, and their weapon cores began to glow. Sensors picked up rising energy waves, each one powerful enough to melt through a mountain. The drones floating around the ships turned their optics toward Earth, ready to record what they believed would be the final destruction of the human species. Marcus ordered all units to battle stations. Along the Earth's surface, hidden doors opened in mountains, deserts, and oceans, revealing cannons loaded with plasma rounds. Thousands of interceptor ships launched from bunkers. Pilots breathed fast but forced themselves to stay focused. They had trained for this moment. Many of them had grown up hearing stories about the Ark and return. Now they would decide what the story became. The countdown hit 120 seconds. Arkan energy signatures reached full charge. The alien commanders sent a message over open channels. It said the humans had one last chance to surrender. Marcus laughed softly. He told Ava that the aliens still thought humanity was the same weak civilization as 6,000 years ago. Ava replied that they would learn soon. Marcus opened the communication line and sent one short message back into space. No. That single word spread through every military base and every ship. It echoed across social feeds and whispered through shelters. People around the world repeated it. No fear. No surrender. No acceptance of extinction. The Arkan commanders gave the order to fire. Space lit up as thousands of beams shot downward toward Earth. They looked like burning rivers of light, each one carrying the strength to shatter continents. Alarms filled the command center. Ava felt her heart leap into her throat. Marcus shouted for all shields to raise to maximum. The first wave hit the outer defense barrier. The entire planet shook. Cities felt the force through the ground. Clouds ripped apart in the sky. But the shields held. The second wave came even stronger. It slammed into the fences with sound like thunder rolling across the oceans. The barrier flickered, but did not break. Scientists monitoring the shield output reported it dropped only by a small percentage. The alien weapons were powerful, but Earth had spent generations building something more powerful. Marcus ordered the counterattack. Interceptor ships raced upward in tight formation. Their engines burned trails across the sky, and their targeting systems locked onto the Arkan destroyers. Plasma cannons on the ground fired massive beams toward orbit. The shots moved so fast they cut through the thin atmosphere like needles of light. One of the beams hit an Arkan destroyer directly. The entire ship exploded, scattering metal and fire. When Earth saw the explosion, loud cheers erupted in shelters and bases. They could destroy the invaders. They had proof now. The Arkan fleet adjusted quickly. They released swarms of hunter drones that moved like black clouds. They fired back at the interceptors. Ships exploded on both sides as the battle spread across the upper atmosphere. The sky itself seemed to turn into a war zone. Ava monitored the shield readings. Each wave from the Arkan chipped away a little more. If enough ships fired at once, the barrier might weaken. Marcus knew it too, but he also knew something else. Humanity was not fighting from fear. They were fighting with lived experience, learned pain, and deep strategy. The aliens had expected panic, but instead, humanity attacked with precision and coordination. Marcus triggered a secret protocol. Hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean, a colossal device activated. It created a gravitational pulse that reached far into orbit. Arkan ships found their movement slowed, their engines struggling to compensate. The pulse had turned the battle in humanity's favor. Interceptor groups used the opening. They flew in close, targeting weak points in the alien hulls. 2 more destroyers exploded. A heavy cruiser lost power and drifted downward, crashing into the upper atmosphere, where it burned up like a falling star. The aliens realized the humans had technology far beyond what they expected. Their commanders grew desperate. They combined their firepower for one giant strike. A massive beam formed above Earth, glowing brighter than anything seen before. Ava whispered that this might break the shield. Marcus replied that it wouldn't. He believed in the engineers who had built the defenses. He believed in the pilots. He believed in the strength of his species. The massive alien beam fired and fell toward Earth. The planet waited, and as the light approached, Marcus gave one final order. Hold.